Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure to be here in the beautiful city of Prague. And this is very exciting to be able to tell something about Finland and also tell something about Finnish education. There are quite a few delegations every year that come to the Ministry of Education and Culture who say, what is the secret behind the Finnish education system? And now, in this afternoon, I'm going to reveal some of the secrets behind our success. And first of all, just to remind you who we are and where we are. So Finland is a very small country up north, only 2 hours away from Prague. But only 5.5 million people, and as you can see, we are a big country geographically. It's a long country, about 1,300 kilometers long, and plenty of water and plenty of forests. 75% of the country is covered by forests. So we often say that we have only 2 assets, it's the forests and it's the heads. So we have to invest in people, we have to invest in human capital. And we have been doing quite well. And the education system, some people ask, why do we always keep on developing the system? But that is one of the biggest secrets behind the success of the system, that it is being constantly developed. And from early on, from in the 1900s, start of the century, there was the idea that we really have to educate the whole population, not only the rich, not only the boys and men, but the whole population. And that was a very big thing. And we had all the very strong civic movements from the agrarian side, from the workers' movement, from the church movement, and they all put a great emphasis on civilization and educating the whole population. So you can see that we have a history where we have actually been very progressive. The decisions made by the previous generations have proven to be very, very useful. And of course, in 1921, the kind of obligatory schooling was introduced for everybody. And then the big change was also 1948. That was after the Second World War, when Finland was one of the poorest countries in Europe. We were very poor, it was an agrarian country, and we had to come up with new ideas how to make sure that all the kids actually come to school. And then the free meal, the warm meal every day, was one of the attractions for the whole family. And of course, now the meal is still free for everybody, and it's part of the education plan. You learn about nutritious, right diet, and you learn how to behave when you are sharing the meals. And the teachers share the same meal. That's important also. And then the big education reform in the 1970s, you can see that the 1970s, the whole decade was really about introducing the comprehensive school system to Finland. And it started the reform from Lapland and then gradually took over the whole country. But this wasn't an easy reform to take place, because we used to have that kind of stratified system where kids at the age of 10 were shown, or they had to apply whether they choose the academic route or whether they stay in the kind of folk school system. And this had been debated for more than 10 years in the country before a decision could be reached, that we really need a comprehensive school where everybody are kept in the same group for 9 years, and everybody has then the same capabilities and possibilities to advance in their educational paths. And also the question was very much discussed that we can't really expect all the kids to learn foreign languages. And that was for the first time introduced to the school system. So that was revolutionary at that time and not an easy task. But then things followed. In the beginning of the 1980s, we decided to transfer teacher education to universities, and that was fiercely opposed. Because there were many people from the universities and wider public who said that, well, teaching of small kids, how difficult can that be? And what does it have to do with research? And then again, we had wise people making decisions, and they said that it has everything to do with research. How you educate and train your teachers, that's the key to the nation's success. And now we are very proud that we have these highly educated, highly motivated teachers who are autonomous professionals in their own classroom. And this is one of the secrets, because we don't have to over-regulate the system, because we can trust our teachers, because they are trained, educated in universities, and they all have to go through the same quality assurance, or the university systems. And then, of course, we also decentralized the systems in the mid-1990s. So more power to local authorities and more power to schools and their management and leadership. And this has proven also to be a very useful thing to do. And then we changed to the system that we actually make about every 10 years a national core curriculum, and then it is adjustable to regional and even local level and even at school level. And this because of the system of the training and educating our teachers in the same way. And then, of course, the kind of new phases, internationalization and more individual learning paths, they have been introduced gradually, and also the digital age has reached our schools nowadays. And Finnish educational system, there are no dead ends in the system. Many say that it has resulted in a very complex picture or chart of the education system, but really it's very important that you can't make wrong choices in our system. Every path is still possible at every stage. And then we have also this kind of Nordic tradition of liberal adult education, which is really not regulated at all, but it is supported also by public funds. So this is important, and that's this describes the whole system, which is based on equity, equal opportunities for everybody. So you have to have a system that is flexible and can accommodate all pupils and students for all kinds of backgrounds. And here are some of the characteristics or features, most important features in the education system. First of all, it is free of charge for all the students and pupils. Even in higher education, in our universities, we don't have any tuition fees. We have introduced now fees to third country nationals, but not to domestic students or EU or EEA students. And this obviously is very important. But also that we have a very good service network. We have universities of applied sciences in all parts of the country. We have schools, we have early childhood education and care facilities in all parts of the country. And also that the system serves in both our national languages. So this is very, very important. And also we favor collaboration, cooperation instead of competition. Being a small nation, we really have to have the same common vision and goal and work towards it. And of course we are very proud, and I must say that in the beginning of the 2000 of the new millennium, when the first PISA results came out, the typical first reaction from the ministry and our officials were that there must be something wrong with the indicators. They have miscalculated, we can't be this good. And then gradually we started to believe that perhaps we are good when the flux of international delegations and ministers and ministries came to our ministry and wondered about the results. So something has been achieved. And also I must emphasize one feature of the Finnish education system and the development of the system is trust. We don't measure our pupils, we don't compare our students, we don't have any national examinations in our comprehensive system. It is based on trust and, as they nowadays say, co-creation and kind of mutual respect of all the players. This is very important. So all kinds of partnerships in developing education. Obviously, there's a strong emphasis on national authorities, the parliament, the government, but then local authorities, teachers' union, one of the most powerful lobbies in Finland. Practically all teachers are organized and they belong to the same trade union. So it has meant that this union is very strong lobby. And you can imagine that no Minister of Education wants to disagree with practically all the teachers in the country. And this is very good. Sometimes, obviously, we are not too happy at the ministry with the teachers' opinion, but we work very closely together with the union. And social partners, that's a kind of tradition also in Finland, that we have very strong collaboration between the employers and employee sides. And all big social reforms are done in three-partite system. Parents, more and more, they are interested in what is happening in school and how their kids are treated in school. And they really put pressure to teachers. It is not as it used to be when I went to school, and if there was some trouble, parents always took the side of teacher. And now they can even say that perhaps there is something wrong with the teaching methods or pedagogical styles of teachers. And this is a very good development for democratic societies, because we are trying to get our kids also taught at schools to be active citizens and to take the floor when it is needed. Pupils and students, especially our university students, again, one of the most powerful lobbies in the country, because it is still compulsory for all the university students to belong to a union, and it has made them very, very powerful. So also when we do university reforms or reforms at university level, the students have a very strong voice. And again, it's a political thing. You don't want to make students unhappy if you want to be re-elected. And then researchers and research institutes are very important partners for us when we develop our system. But still, again, I would like to emphasize the importance of highly educated and trained teachers who are respected throughout the society. The respect and high value of Finnish citizens towards our teachers is something that we find is not common in many countries. And our universities, actually, they can choose the most gifted students to become teachers. This is very different from many countries. And then if we take a look just from this slide, that we don't overspend on education, we don't overwork our pupils or students. We have among the shortest school days among OECD countries. And there are not big differences in study achievements between schools or between regions. Girls outperform boys now in most subjects, and this is becoming an issue. And socio-economic effect in Finland is moderate. We are concerned that it still is there, but it is not as strong as in most countries. And then, because of the education system, we have become quite good performers in so many things. And this is all because of the education system based on equity, based on trust, that can support everybody and who can take all kinds of learning into account. So all the secrets have been shared now, and I hope you can make use of them, and it was a real pleasure to meet you all this afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you.